Good evening, everybody. Thank you for popping up this Friday. This is going to be a unique show today because my co host, MIA, but we're going to still make it happen. I know it's fun having Sweet Mama G and Baldy E and the different views, but guess what? Y'all going to help provide the views today because we're going to be doing different things today and it's going down. So I have my brother Southside Doughboy in the building.
What's
And
going on, people?
yeah. So, we doing this relationship podcast today. And make sure if y'all in the comments that y'all comment so we know that y'all there. Shouts out to Simply 10. And she said, that's a topic for you, ain't it? Probably so. But that topic, and I know most people say uh, you know, that it's a crazy topic, right? But you got to understand where I'm coming from on that topic. Okay, so I know that most people say that that hey, wait, he put up uh shouts out to Pokey just popping up in the building. But I know that some people say the topic is Amazon men, and y'all want an Amazon man and y'all want an Amazon woman. Well, the reason for that, and we know, let's get the definition of an Amazon. First of all, an Amazon is not a man. Amazon is not a man. Amazon is a woman. But let's get the correct definition of it. And it says a member of a legendary race of female warriors believed by the ancient and Greeks to exist in Scythia near the Black Sea in modern Russia or elsewhere on the edge of the known world. So, what that is, the topic again, Amazon man, Amazon woman. So, we know that a man cannot be an Amazon. But the reason why I use Amazon is because men and women these days are not being realistic. They want a man in a box, a woman in a box. So, what comes in boxes usually these days? Amazon packages. So, that being said, that the Amazon man and the Amazon woman, you better go to Amazon and purchase him or her because you ain't going to get that fully of what you're asking for these days. So, um, remember, everybody, shouts out to y'all popping up on the relationship show. And remember, the line to call in is right down the bottom. It's 470-493-9928. Uh, Before we start, and throughout the show, we're going to read some comments. Simply 10 said, you know what I didn't realize you meant a real Amazonian, right? And then she said, you know what? I didn't. Oh, I'm sorry. You what is this thing doing? I thought oh, okay. I thought you meant a Build-A-Bear from the adult toy store. Basically, that's what they want. Shouts out to Miss Wendy coming up in the building. What is included in these boxes? Well, what's included in these boxes is what you want to order. But the problem, what it is that that's exactly where you're going to get that man from that you're looking for. Not you, Miss Wendy, but I'm just saying in general. So, um, this is how we're going to kick it here. And remember, actually, you know what? I want everybody to make sure that they comment. Y'all can call in the number down the bottom once again. And also, if y'all want to pop up on the screen, let's do it. Don't be shy. Let's get past the shyness. Everybody's beautiful because they was created by our God Jehovah. So now, Simply 10 said, could I tell you, but it's not for you to TV. All right, whatever. um, All right. So we're gonna get on with this, right? We're gonna get on with this. Um, now I know that. Hold on. Let me do this. Let me get this right. Right.
Brain simply 10 on.
Let me get this right. So now you have these men out here, right? I'm not even gonna start on the women. I'm gonna start on the men. Men could be delusional as well. Men could be delusional as well. And what happens is that that's why a big reason why a lot of women do the things that they do today originally was because they wanted to get a man. And with them wanting to get a man, they would do almost anything. They will, dress however they need to dress or whatever. I mean, you had people when you go to clubs, your jazz clubs back in the day, or I forgot what they call them back in the day, but anyway, they would go there and women be, dressed to a T. You know what I'm saying? And with their body shapes and all that stuff, and that would drive the men crazy, and the men would just want these women. So a lot of times we all know now that clubs hire women to come in there just so they can dress, just so they can bring them in. So um and what's going on here is that you got these men that want these kind of women all the time. They think they deserve them. So you have the man, he's wanting a woman that's feminine. Honestly, today, finding a feminine woman is far in between, because a lot of women these days have gotten so
It's
uh
slim to none.
exactly. They've gotten so rough these days. You know what I'm saying? Because now they have to work, and now they have to experience the same thing men do. And then you have a lot of women that are single parents. And believe it or not, I want this to sound crazy, but this is real. You have a lot of single women out there that will take care of their kids, be the mom and dad. But you got to remember, when they're playing dad, their testosterone as they get older goes up. So now you're talking about another thing that will make them more aggressive, more manly like. So trying to find a feminine woman, that makes it tough. Then you also want one, the man, he wants a woman that's submissive. How often do we see that these days? Right? So that's another tough one. I mean, you have women that's on the internet, YouTube, social media, TikTok, wherever. They are arguing against this. Since when you say you want a woman that's submissive, they want to argue with you about it. They want to argue the reason why they're not submissive. So I think that's crazy. But and you can, come in at any given time, Southside. And whoever wants to call in down the bottom, y'all can do just that. We also have the guys. You want a woman that cooks every day. Is there anybody in here that cook every day? That's a female that cook every day. If so, let us know in the comments. They also want them. What else they want, Southside? What they see with their eyes that they want. A
I
lot of
don't know,
men.
man. It's a lot of women I see today. You know, well, actually go both ways. They be looking for handouts too much. They don't want to work. They don't really want to work for nothing. You
Okay.
know, and the way I look at it today, man, the way I'm gonna put it at the young youth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the young folks today, they don't know what it means to be in a relationship. You know, it's you see them today, the way they dress, they think it's appropriate, but what man wants that woman to be out, what I'm saying, looking the way they looking
Right.
sometimes, you know, me back in the day, yeah, like you said, that's what we wanted. That's what we was looking for. But
Okay.
when once you put on them grown man shoes and your grown woman shoes, you know what I'm saying? It's time to change and look at the bigger picture. Is this what you want? Is this who you want to build with? You know, because a lot of people say you want a little thug in them, but you all want a little class too. You know what I'm saying? You can be a little thuggish, but it's a time and a place for that.
Okay.
I bet. Amen.
So,
But
I
right.
agree with that. I agree with that. And if you will, Southside, read some of these comments here, starting from Miss Wendy. She said, "Oh, what is included in these boxes?" And after that, read those comments for me. I need to send a link, but go ahead.
Hold on. Oh, you already read. That's all I see. Hold on. Why is it? Because
No, well, you have simply 10 said, "I could tell you, but it's not for YouTube TV."
hold on.
And while you
Yeah,
looking,
I'm on my screen though.
let me know and then also simply 10 said negative.
Negative.
Kimasabi.
Yeah.
Okay, start from there and then you read down because I'm trying to send a link here. Okay.
Okay. Hold on.
You ain't find it yet? And let me jump on it while you just let me know
Hold
when
on.
you see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then and when I was talking about women cooking every day, simply 10 said she do meal preps count. Okay. And then how do you feel about leftovers? I mean, if the food good on day one, I don't have a problem with leftovers. You know what I'm saying? Day two, they should be still good, but day three, it's a problem. And then so I get that. You still don't see Southside?
I'm
Southside
pulling
breaking out
up
the
on my. No,
glasses.
I'm pulling my computer up right now.
Okay. Well, and
Yeah.
then Miss Wendy
So I can
also
see that.
said, why is expectations? Why is the expectations that a man be a provider looked at as a woman having to earn something? And then also Miss Wendy said, this is that talking out of both sides of the mouth. And that the and that in that they got to work to be taken care of, she has to work for it. What either she says, I'm sorry, what either she has to work for you to be in the right role. Okay. Um, I'm gonna tell y'all like this. First of all, I was talking about the men, as a matter of fact, let me do one thing. Southside, go ahead and finish reading that. I just need to send this one thing, this link real quick.
You already read everything. That's all I see right now.
Okay. All right. Okay. So anyway, all right. I'm gonna say it like this. Oh shoot. Hold on. My thing is again with with these with men, and I'm talking about men right now. I'm talking about men. What I was asking you was after they want a feminine woman, a submissive woman, a woman that cooks every day. What's the next big thing? They want this big round booty, right? That's what the guys want. You see what I'm saying? And having even just those four things is virtually almost impossible. It's not impossible. It's there. You have women that'll be like that, but then you have the average guy wanting that. You see what I'm saying? The average guy. So that's not, I mean, he might be asking for a bit much. Maybe asking for a bit much. So hold on, Southside. I wish you could step in there for me for a second, but I'm trying to send something here. Hold on. All right. There we go. Okay. All right. You there, Southside? I guess he. Anyway. All right. So let's go with it. So anyway, Miss Wendy also said she She hate autocorrect. I sound illiterate. No, I mean we kind of get it there. So now also the guy, he's gonna want a medium to large breast on a woman, right? Let me know in the comments if y'all think the man is asking for too much. If from what y'all heard already, is he asking for too much? Right. So, you know, when y'all women look for men, what do y'all look for? Let us know in the comments as well. But first of all, again, and y'all hear me speak on this a lot. Y'all hear me speak on this a lot. First of all, does he work? How long has he had his job? What kind of work does he do? Um, Also, how long has he been on the job? Is he a solid guy, whether being solid as far as working on his job or solid as far as keeping a job? Because I know people, they be at different jobs almost every few months because they can't hold it down. They get to work and start acting a fool. So um, when y'all looking for men, y'all need to check for that. Y'all need to check for it. But one of the most important things, and I talk to my sons about this, always check out the parents. And Miss Wendy actually just put that here about genetically. Yes, everyone doesn't have the genes to have a big butt, even if they are fit. That's very true. So, me personally, I'm gonna tell y'all like this. When I was younger, when I was younger, um, I can't even remember who. It might have been one of my brothers or whatever. Look at that butt. I didn't know what to look for in a woman, and actually, that's not even the thing to look for in a woman. But it was either one of my brothers or probably they probably gonna. Well, my one brother probably gonna get me for this, but and it wasn't him. I don't think. I think it was my other brother. If it was my brother, but or some friends or something. Look at that butt, and I'm like, I don't know what to look for, but then eventually, later on, but that's still a stupid thing. At first when I was coming up, it was like, oh, she's pretty or she's cute or whatever. But, that's just, it's foolish. But now that I'm at the age I am now, I don't look for stuff like that. You know what I mean? From me being married for so long, first of all, none of that I paid attention to or whatever. It just didn't matter to me. I was thinking about taking care of my family and doing what I needed to do as a man. But now, men, before I even say what I finish saying what I was going to say, um, before I get finished saying what I was going to say is that the other things that men want, they also want, like I said, from the feminine being submissive, cooks every day, um, big, nice, round butt. That's what they want. Medium to large breasts, soft voice. They asking for too much, right? Um, Long, natural hair. Wanted to be very sexually uh, active with only him. First of all, when you're in a relationship, yes, you want to be, with that one person or whatever. And he keeps her family and friends out of their business. That's a task for a lot of women too, because a lot of women, they want to tell their business or whatever, family members, and not realizing that that actually breaks up a lot of that breaks up their relationship. But what I was going to say was a lot of women don't. I mean, if you dealing with a man that's going to be like that, he's actually a foolish man for the most part, wanting a lot of that stuff because that's going to do nothing for their relationship at all. Um, Pokey say good luck. Right, because that's asking for a lot. And then a lot of times you find a woman like that, then she gonna think she the prize and everything. And I'm not saying, that you shouldn't value your woman, you should. But when she thinking she the prize, she need to go. Um Also, Pokey said men are so visual, not a lot of substance. It's sad. And it really is. Um Miss Wendy said men are so. Oh yeah, that was Miss Wendy who said that. And then Pokey said, "Laugh out loud." Men looking for all the wrong stuff, right? And that be the stuff right there. That be the main thing that breaks them up. Um, when I see like I said, when I was younger, I used to join in with that. Probably like, oh yeah, yeah, whatever. I'm talking about young and young when I was foolish. And so what happened was, as you grow, you're supposed to grow mature. But you have guys my age that's still not mature. They still doing the same stupid stuff. So and okay, Miss Wendy said she said that. Yeah, my that was my bad. I corrected it. Also, Simply 10 said different things come with age, and they do. They do. Things, you're supposed to grow finer with age, but a lot of men are having a hard time doing that. And it's kind of pitiful. I don't even like to get around guys that got those type of games, whatever. So a lot, like I said, a lot of these men want women, Amazon women. One that they would have to literally order in a box. I mean, you're not going to find one woman with all that. And then if you do, trust me, I don't care what man walking on earth, she's going to be too much for him because he's not going to want to deal with all that. It's going to be guys trying to talk to her all the time. She's going to think she's so pretty. So hold up. Hello. Who do we have here?
Hey,
Oh, it's Miss Wendy, huh? Hello.
yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
It just gets low
Did,
when
did
I'm trying to talk on my phone at the same time.
oh, okay.
But I just couldn't with that typing thing. It was driving me nuts.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
Miss Pokey said age don't mature most men, and they don't. They don't. I'm telling you. But go ahead, Miss Wendy.
no, I was saying that this list of must-haves or this is the right package from Amazon for a man is so shallow and ridiculous.
Right.
I get it. Men are visual creatures. That's just the thing. But when you have no substance to
Mm-hmm.
what you want,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to get anyone of substance because you're not even looking for it.
Right. No, I
And what
agree.
I was saying before when I was getting cut off with the crazy word thing was that if you have one statement of, okay, you want a woman that is going to be able to cook every day, she's going to clean, she's going to be a homemaker, she's going to take care of home, and then to say out the same traditional mouths that everybody needs to be in the right role and the woman needs to be able to take care of home and not be out in the street trying to be the man and be the provider and head of household based off of monetary things. The first thing that was said was, oh, if she's asking for money, she's asking for too much, she need to go work. I'm like, what? That doesn't make any sense to me. Either you want her to work or you want her to stay home.
Right. you
Because
know.
now you're putting her in the role of going out there and becoming a man and trying to be the boss and all these other crazy things because you're saying in order for you to be in your role, which is your natural place as the head of the household, is to provide. So how can you
Amen.
get stepping up out your space because you want her to go work to earn the fact that you should be in this space? I got totally confused.
You know what's sad about that? That right there really happens all the time. You have guys that want that, but they don't understand what it takes for that to happen. It's a lot, especially these days. Like you just can't get out there and say, "All right, I found this good woman, whatever." But she's a homemaker, and she's used to it, and that's what she wants to be. But she's gonna be home. She's gonna make my food. She's gonna make sure my clothes are clean and make sure that we just have a happy household. But then he can't afford it. So when he can't afford it, then he want her to work but come home and do the same stuff. So that is a double load. It just don't even make sense. So I guess sometimes when you have guys that agree with, and it's a lot of guys out there that say, hey, 50-50. I mean, I know at this given day, a lot of women don't see a problem with that, but I see a problem with it. Like I'm old fashioned, so I see a problem with it. So I'm gonna read a comment before you step in, Miss Wendy. Pokey said a bunch of new modern men and women too dang young to know how to even have a happy home. That's very true, very true. And then Simply 10 said, in my experience, let me see, the older they get, usually their views change. And that's true. Sometimes, again, they can change for the better or worse. Um, and then Simply 10 also say, I can speak only from my experience, but it's clear it's a bunch of old, old fools out there on both sides. Let me ask you this, Miss Wendy. Let me ask you this. Um, when let's say you go out on a date, right? And what are red flags, or from your experience, what red flags popped up on dates that you went on? Miss Wendy? Miss Wendy? Okay, we'll get her back in a second. We got Dougie in the building. What's going on, my brother? Dougie said, I would like to have a lady that's cool. I'm sorry, let me get that up there. I would like to have a lady that's cool looking because I'm cool looking. I would like for her to have my back. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And I like the fact how he said cool looking. You know what I mean? Because some guy, she got to be bad. She got to be this. She got to be that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna tell you, to be honest with you, when you have a woman that has all that from that list that I just read, she's going to be a pain. She's going to be a pain. Me personally, especially as I matured, I would rather downgrade in all the pretty looks and have peace in my life. I don't, you know what I mean? Because when you get them women that think they so pretty, the first thing they doing is all on the internets, but all on the internet, social media. First thing, instead of you see their face, they try and show their butt. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Pokey said, what if she keeps a border house? That would be crazy. Also, Pokey said at Dougie, what if she is cool looking, but she can't cook? What about that, Dougie? What if she can't cook, but she's cool looking? And it's a lot of that out there too. Miss Wendy, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. I actually threw a question at you earlier, but I think you
Oh,
had stepped off. What I was asking was, let's say you go on a date, right? What red flags have you ran into when you was on dates about guys?
in and out. I'm trying to hear the question.
You want me to repeat it?
Yeah, repeat the question because I can't. It's going in and out.
Okay. Now I was saying that, what are red flags? Like if you went out on a date, like
Hmm.
past dates, what red flags that you ever ran into that told you like, oh, this is not the guy?
I'm gonna say the first thing is when guys start to ask a woman on even before the date, like how much money, what are you driving? I mean, they sound like women.
Wow. They ask
Oh,
you
what do
that?
you do? What?
They ask you that? The men
And
ask
see,
you
this
that?
is where, yes, and this is where it gets real messed up. And that's why the first thing that made me want to jump on and just start talking was because it was the same thing. Oh, you got to go work. Okay, so you seen me work. You see me at work. You may have
Mhm.
met me at work.
Right.
And you know that I'm the boss and I'm in charge or what have you. Say you see me driving, right? Now you checking marks, and they are like women.
Hmm.
Check it like back in the day, women checking boxes. Oh, she got a nice car. Oh, she got this, and oh, she dressed like that, and oh, she looks this way or that way. And oh, if it's at the work, oh, and she the boss. So now you done calculated up a whole paycheck and lifestyle and everything else. And now when you're asking me out, you put in these crazy places. And again, I'm just in a traditional mindset. So when you say, hey, I want to take you out, okay. So
Hmm.
that's for you to figure out where we're going. And
Right.
it's for you to figure out the cost to be the boss of the evening.
Right.
You certainly aren't looking at me to try to figure out the date that you just asked me on. It's just so crazy. And then they start asking about the car and the whatever.
Let me ask you
And
this.
it's like they're sizing you up like you're a pocketbook, like you're like I'm a purse.
Right.
And I'm looking like, okay, he is all in the wrong role. And this is going nowhere fast. And if you're not listening, it is funny because a friend of mine said something, he posted a live the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Comedic, funny, but she was so on point. Somebody tried to talk to her. The guy approached her. He said, "I'm a good guy, blah blah blah." And she's like, "Well, what else are you? What are you supposed to say? Are you supposed to come up and tell me that you don't have any money, and you don't take care of your kids, and you don't do this, and you don't do that?
Right.
Are you supposed to say you're a good man?" And so it just went on, and as she went on, it was so funny. But what she ended up saying is like, "Ladies, the biggest thing is I said no. He kept pushing his agenda. So right off the top, he's not going to listen to you
Right.
when you are talking and you're telling him what you want or what you don't want. He's not going to listen to you because he's already not listening to you.
Right.
He's going to have his own agenda, and it's going to come first because I'm telling you what I don't want. I'm not in a space where I want to be in a relationship or date anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And you still pushing on. You still pressing on. You still asking me, well, come on, let me and all these things that you're going to do and all of that. And I'm sitting there telling you, no, I'm not interested. Being polite about it,
Mm-hmm.
but you're still pushing your agenda. You're already showing those red flags that, yeah, you're not even going to listen to me. What you want is going to come first because you can't even ask me out without making it about you and what you want.
Right. Now, before we start off with that, now back up in the comments, Dougie said, I would like to have a lady. Wow. He said, I would like to have a lady that's cool looking because I'm a cool looking. And I would like for her to have my back. And Pokey said to him, what if she is cool looking but can't cook? And what if she keeps a border house? And Dougie said, if she doesn't know how to cook, then he's going to teach her. Also, hold on, I'm trying to catch up on it. And then Simply 10, what's a border house? And then Pokey, you mean better go find y'all a good old country girl. They can cook, ride motorcycles, play in the mud, keep your house clean, and do a black tie event, and for sure gonna have your back. Okay, you hear that, Dougie? And then he also said, Dougie said also, if she can't cook, it's because she doesn't want to cook. That's probably about true too. But now, Miss Wendy, let me ask you this. Let's say I'm showing mine that the guy that you was just talking about, that did you what was his family background? Like, was he brought up by his mother? Like he was in the household of his mother only? Miss Wendy? That guy that the guy you was just talking about, I'm sure you have him still in mind. Do you recall whether he was brought up by his both of his parents, or just his mother, or just his father?
The person actually is a preacher's kid.
A preacher's
Take that
kid?
into consideration. Boom, right there. Yep.
Well, I mean,
Parents together, raised by both parents, had siblings. Yep, all of it.
wow. Yeah, he just didn't listen. Pokey
Looks
said,
like I'm rebelling against everything I was brought up against is what it sounds like coming
right.
out. It was just like, what is
Uh,
happening? Is that a Twilight Zone?
yeah, that's crazy. Simply 10 said a recipe is only the beginning of you don't know how to research. And also Simply 10 said, and I'm hold on one second. And I'm from the country, by the way. Okay. Sorry for the typos. Phone sends it before she finished correcting. All right. So yeah, that and sometimes you run into situations like that where you have guys that did come up with both of their parents, and I guess he just didn't listen. He just didn't take it in. You know what I mean? But it depends on how his father was too,
Mm-hmm.
because his father, he can be a preacher all he want. You know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
it's the difference between a preacher and a man. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Those are two different things.
Mm-hmm.
True.
So, um, so the preacher, he might have been in there all the whole time, just amen. That's all he talking, but he he probably ain't take care of his son. Did he take care of his son? No. Amen. So I don't know, but anyway,
Oh my geez.
that's how that goes. So,
You know, a lot of, a
what'd you
lot
say,
of them,
sir?
they
It's
teach them,
different.
they teach them to be in the church so much. Well, they don't teach them the outside world. You know, they want them to be so holy and thou.
Right.
But when it comes
Mm,
to getting out here in this real world, they lost.
Mm,
They don't
right.
know how to really treat, what I'm saying, someone because they weren't really taught that.
You know what's
I
funny?
would have to.
Oh, go
I
ahead.
would have to say this person. They just didn't know how to treat me.
They didn't know how to treat you.
Right. I don't think that. I mean, just from being on here week after week and stuff. I don't think that, like, case in point, I believe in a lot of things that you actually say because and have been and lived in that role of being the boss and having, like I said, the things that if somebody sees me, it's like, okay, she got this and she got that and she got this, she got that. So you're looking at what, because it all sounds visual from the man's side,
Right.
that, okay, she's got all these things, she's got her stuff together, she's got all this and that and the other. And I just like, storms come and storms go. I may have all these things or whatever. But what if it was a time when I was in the storm? I still have all that stuff.
Right.
Doesn't mean in that moment that I have all of this money coming in, right? And so where does that leave that person who's looking, thinking, "Oh, I didn't hit the jackpot. I got everything." Because
So,
I was brought up in a time where, like, even to this day, something that actually relaxes me is
right.
ironing clothes.
Okay. Oh yeah,
People
and
don't even buy irons.
it's funny that you say that. It's funny that you say that. Let me tell you something. Whenever I always talk about my parents and I talk about my mother, a lot because
Mhm.
the way I grew up and the way my father was and the way my mother was, they did the best that they could. And it was 10 of us, 10 kids. And my mother used to iron every piece of our clothes every week.
Mhm.
We had clean iron clothes every week. Like you said, most of these people, you don't even see them with an iron. Probably don't even know how to
Right.
use it. They probably get burnt
Mm.
trying to use it because they
Mhm.
don't know how to use it. So
Burn the clothes up.
yeah, burn the clothes up and
Yeah.
everything else.
They all
So
shiny.
also, Pokey said most of women today order their Hello Fresh or their meal prep stuff, but nobody
Mm.
cooks no more modern day women stuff. That's true. And see, you know what? For y'all women that's trying to have figured it out, that's figured it out these days, because I see a lot of women, like I've seen where women was like, "So I don't need no man. I'm single. Singleness is a blessing. This, that, and the third." But that was 2, 3 years ago. But then now they looking for a man, and some of them may be willing to do that now. They may be willing to, especially if they meet the right guy, because a lot of times, when women meet men, if they don't have them in a good environment, then they can't flourish. You see what I'm saying? Of everything, because look, I'm accountable. I've been through that situation when I was married. I'm sure that some of the situations were uncomfortable for my wife, and if she's uncomfortable, then she can't do what she needs to do. That's just like a man getting put on a job, you know, with no tools. Now he can't do his work and he doesn't feel comfortable. So a lot of y'all men, y'all wanting all these things out of women and wanting a woman to be the certain way. Y'all got to make sure that y'all have her in an environment that she can flourish and be comfortable in. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So because men are quick to want all this glamorous type of woman and everything. So you know, it's just weird. Now, um, since we were on that, let's go to the women. Y'all women. Okay. Women. Y'all want this Amazon man. And the Amazon man starts with handsome. She wants him to be handsome. Am I wrong? If most women always want a handsome man, Miss Wendy?
I wouldn't even say that
Okay.
because, and I'm not even talking about me in this regard. Like
Mm-hmm.
I had a close knit group of strong, independent, quote unquote. In other words, they just had their stuff together because it was always okay. Come to the table with something. So they all had their stuff coming to the table. Nobody was coming broke down and all of that. But here's the thing: I had 2 of 3 literally say to me, "I want an ugly man," and I was like, "What is that? What? I want an ugly man," and I was like, "Why would you say that?" And it was because they didn't want to have to deal with all the ego and all the other crap that was coming along with it. And I'm like, interesting. Because of course, I watch them. Now they're married and everything else. And their spouses are not unattractive, but that's in the eye of the beholder. I don't know how people just label, oh, I want somebody that's pretty. What is pretty? You're pretty, man. He's pretty. Like you just got finished saying, oh, the guy say he want a big round butt, and then he want boobs too. I've seen guys that work out, talk to them, and they're like, I don't want no girl with no big crazy butt. And the one guy made me cry laughing because he said, because when she get older, that's gonna stink. And I was like, what? Just hilariousness.
Right.
But this is what he truly was saying. He just made a joke as to why he was saying he was big old crazy extra butt. And men say the same thing about breasts. They're like, give me just a handful is too much. Remember, I don't know if y'all remember saying or the sayings or things that guys have said over the years, but all of that has been said. So how do you just say, oh, I want a handsome man? Handsome me might not be handsome to somebody else.
Right. But you
Case
know,
in point, Beyonce and Jay-Z.
mm-hmm.
I mean, some people are like, oh, he is so ugly, da 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 da. He's like, yeah, my money made me pretty. I never thought he was unattractive to begin with, though. But see, that's my opinion.
Right, but in
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it because a lot of, I mean, I'm not saying, you know, I mean, I just don't like when people start judging people. I really don't like that. And shout out to my nephew.
Yeah.
I love this little guy. I love this guy. My nephew Daryl. What's going on, nephew? I don't know if you caught the comment earlier about one of my brothers, and it probably was your father, was saying, hey, look at that butt over there. That was the first time when I started looking at butts. You know, and I think it was his father. But anyway, you know, I agree with that. Like everybody has a beauty about them. Everybody. God don't make ugly. God don't like ugly. You see what I'm saying? So you know, my thing is, you know, you just in what you were saying about your friends, they were saying they want an ugly guy. I get it. I do. And I'm gonna tell you why I get it. Because that's just like the same reason why most guys nowadays will downgrade from looks to peace. Because if you got a cute guy, first of all, y'all women, why would y'all want a cute guy? You know, for this day, I mean, to this day, and don't get me wrong, I like Prince. Really, I only like his first album. But why do women go crazy over Prince? He looked like a woman.
Because he got money.
I like his music, all the rest of it can go. And I think that is, I don't know, but I think as far as my circle, that's what we liked about Prince. It wasn't that he was in no high heels and no tight pants. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean,
the music was great.
Yeah, his music, that first album, when he made Purple Rain and all that, that was dope. But after that, I was lost. We're gonna read some comments right here. I don't know, Simply 10. I don't know if she's talking about me saying I was wrong. Laugh out loud, or Dougie, maybe. Then Simply 10 said, I like them, my type of ugly, right? Pokey said, my man, I'll have to be the most handsome man in the world. There just needs to be some chemistry there, and he has to be able to treat me like a woman. And most women will. That's probably the same thing. And Dougie said at Simply 10 Art, not in my book, Heat and Fire. I'm thinking they talking about cooking. And then Simply 10 said, what's handsome to me may not be handsome to another woman, which is fine. And Pokey said, Dougie, I think he was asking what's the main ingredient for cooking or whatever. And Pokey answered to him, Laurie's. And let me see, Dougie, those are not special ingredients. You said ingredients. I'm messing that all up. Then Simply 10 said, love is special seasoning. Love is a special seasoning. You ever had a woman cook for you while she was mad? Dang. You don't want that. She be mad cooking.
You don't want that
said,
food.
nah. Pokey also said that I wouldn't do Prince with somebody else's. Haha. I'm messing everybody comment up. But anyway, so now let me run down this list right here. This list right here. This is the woman's list. Like I said, the woman, the first thing they want is the guy to be handsome. He has to be handsome. Number 2, a buff build. If I'm wrong, y'all just let me know. Or you still there, Miss Wendy?
I hate Mr. Bulky. Go ahead with the list.
Okay. All right. Number 2 is a buff build. Number 3, big hands. What's funny?
What does that have to do with anything?
Huh?
This man's gotta be big for what?
I don't know. It's on the list.
Wow. Genetically, men's hands are bigger than women's. So I'm a little lost unless you're dating a little person.
Yeah. Also on here you have they said they'd like for that man to be a leader.
Six foot, what?
No, I'm saying a leader. Most women want their man to be a leader. Am I wrong?
True.
Okay.
Oh no, you right in that.
Okay. Because you got a lot of guys out here that want to go 50-50. Put in the comments if y'all think that a man that goes 50-50, can y'all respect him as being a leader?
He
in the
ain't a
comments.
leader.
He's not a leader?
I'm sorry, I don't need to comment. I'm commenting. That's not a leader.
Okay.
Hold on.
Hold on 1 second. We have another call. Hello?
Yeah.
Hello? Hello? Miss Wendy?
Simply saying.
Oh, hey, Simply 10. How are you?
I'm great.
Good.
Hey, Miss Wendy. Hey.
I got to get your vodka guy on here. I got to reach out to him. But go ahead. What was your comment, Simply 10?
I'm trying to figure out where you got this list from. Thank you.
I'm gonna say it was a compiled list. Huh? So let me catch up with the comments here before you go before you start, Simply 10. All right, Pokey said
before I go ham. All right.
Yeah. Pokey said I wouldn't do Prince with somebody else's. Dang. All right, that's what she was saying. Okay. And Simply 10, this is a comment you put, man, where you getting that list from, I'm assuming. And then he don't have to be buff. Not necessarily. Okay. So go ahead, Simply 10. And hold on, shouts out to, I just saw 50-50 beta. That was what Pokey said. And I'm not going to comment on that yet, but I'm letting y'all comment. But Simply 10 said 50-50 makes him a beta. Dougie said, why is that he is not a leader if they 50-50? Okay. So we have a discussion here. We'll get on that in a minute. Okay, and shouts out to Maria, Monica Maria Cano. Hola. Okay, so simply 10. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
So a woman is somewhat similar to a man. We're somewhat visual, not as visual as men, right?
Uh-huh.
So when we say handsome, we mean handsome to us.
Okay.
Me and my best friend have a running joke where we say we like them our type of ugly, right? Because what I find attractive, she doesn't find attractive. What she finds attractive, I don't find attractive, right? Now, as far as the bust thing, just as much as y'all like y'all women to look good, we like our men to look good.
Okay.
Everybody's not going to be fortunate to have a trophy wife or a trophy husband, but y'all should match each other's fly. So
I agree.
That's the second thing. I forgot all the other random things that was on that list. But as far as big hands, well, you know, if you're from the country, you was raised a certain type of way. Right. And the older women would say, you know, you want a man with big hand and big feet.
Right.
Now you interpret that how you want to interpret it, but to some that means, you know, he ain't afraid of work. Right. The bigger the hands, the better equipped he is to tune that engine. You know,
right.
If he's of a certain stature, he gonna need big feet to hold him up, right?
Okay. I mean, that makes sense.
So it depends on how you look at it.
Right. Okay. Since you on here, and shouts out to my brother-in-law Tony. He says, you okay now. Hold on, let me get back up here.
And yes, you did screw all of our comments up. You read them out of order.
I know. You know,
I told Dougie love was the main ingredient. Why he talking about some heat and fire? That's what get it started.
Well, my elementary school closed early.
We gonna get you some glasses. It's okay.
No, it's just me slow reading. Now, okay, Dougie said that why is it that he's not a leader if they pay 50-50? Now, in the comments, I want y'all to answer him. And then also I want Miss Wendy and Simply 10 to comment on what he said. And shouts out to my brother-in-law Tony in the building. He said, Dougie, she want him to lead her to the mall. All right. So
who want to go first?
You go first, Simply 10. Go ahead.
So there's certain words that I can't say on YouTube, and you know what I do for a living, so I curse a lot, so I'm gonna try not to. But it depends. I always say what works for each individual couple is their own thing. So no matter how traditional you are, no matter how old-fashioned you are, it's always going to be the next person to challenge you because that's not the way they were brought up and that's not the way that they live. So for me, if we going 50-50 on anything, we roommates. However you want to put it, you know, friends with benefits or something. But traditionally, yes, I was raised that a leader should be first on the list, by the way. So that's why I said I don't know where you got that list from. Now, he can be a leader and go 50-50 if that's what y'all agreed to. If that's what was set at the tone that was set at the beginning of the relationship, right? You can't start off 50-50 and then all of a sudden somebody decides to just drop out at the end because that happens, right? So if y'all both came in on the same edge of the playing field and at that time when y'all were both trying to build something or establish something and y'all said, okay, well, I'm going to take over this half, you got that half, or vice versa. That's one thing. But people just wanting to come in 50-50 out of because it's the modern times and, you know, times is hard. Okay, if you ain't got it like that, why get in a relationship?
So
if you want my hair and my nails done and my feet to look nice, are you paying for it? Because I'm a budget shopper.
But
so if I got to pay for it, it may not come out the way you think it's going to come out.
Let me ask you this. So I'm just asking. You just say so.
Go ahead, because my phone coming in low. I can barely hear.
Okay, so
I know that's how he comes on mine too.
All right, can y'all hear me better now?
Oh yeah.
Okay, all right, my bad.
Speaking to the microphone.
All right, so let's say you was just saying. So if a man is not financially ready for a relationship, he should just sit down.
Right. Same way for a woman.
Okay. I mean, I actually agree with that because that's actually on my list right here as well. So,
That's not how it happens though, because everybody be ready to jump in bed.
Mm-hmm.
right. Well, usually a lot of men, that's they want to taste the waters first. You know,
Right. But then you get what you're gonna get.
yeah, that's true.
And just from my experience, not to say that I am or I'm not, of course I'm not, because I was raised differently. I
Mm-hmm.
was bred different.
Mm-hmm.
I'm few and far between. I know that. I know my worth, right?
Okay.
But I was in my younger years in a relationship, and that was the main thing. Like, okay, we're going 50-50. But when you came into the situation, I was the breadwinner, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, in a certain traditional aspect that didn't have anything to do with the Bible, but it does, but it don't at the same time. My mama used to always say, a man that don't work don't eat, right?
Amen.
Now, I interpreted that a certain type of way coming up as a youngster. So when I got into a relationship, I had my own place, I had my own everything, own car, own job, all this stuff.
Okay.
Meet a guy, and this guy gets into a serious relationship. He starts slacking, right?
Mm-hmm.
At first, not by fault of his own, because he was trying to get certain things in order, which I understood going into that relationship.
Okay.
But I don't want to be the one giving 100% and you giving 20%. That math is off, right? So if I'm willing to work with you until you get on your feet, once you get on your feet, you're supposed to take over that leadership role, right?
Right.
I'm there to be your backbone, your help. I'm going to help you until you get established.
That's pretty well.
See, I mean,
But
go ahead.
once you get established and then you go off and start doing your own thing, right? Then that's what makes certain women do certain things certain type of ways. Now, if she's fine with going 50-50, by all means, y'all have at it. Do what works for you, boo.
But so you saying that basically if he came into the relationship, he was not he wasn't on his feet, so to speak. And then
He
you
wasn't
helped.
on his feet, but he worked 2 jobs to get there.
Okay. All right. So and then you saying once he gets on his feet and then now he doing his own thing, he didn't stick by his word.
Right.
Okay.
He didn't take over.
See, that's why it's important. Remember that old saying, the first impression is everything? That's
Right.
that's why you got to get in there and that person from the beginning to be that way. Because
Now, that first impression was he was trying.
see, but he can't be trying. He has to be that. He has to be that from the beginning because it's one thing when he's that in the beginning, and then because we all have ups and downs. I mean, he could be up when you met him, but then he's down. But at least you saw the potential that he had, and he's going to get back there. You see what I'm saying? But when
he did everything he was supposed to do when I left.
see, that's how it goes. That's how it goes. So, right here we have Pokey. She said, "Man, if he wants a trophy wife, he better have some trophy money." Very true, because that's what most of these guys want is trophy wives. Right here, yeah, Pokey said same thing. He said 50-50 is a roommate. You said that earlier, and then Pokey at brother-in-law, she said, "No, all good women need to go to the mall." Okay. And then she also said that a trophy wife is high maintenance. Yep. High maintenance. And that's the thing in that first list when it was, the men, the men that want these type of women, are you ready to deal with her wanting all the time? She wants more than she gives. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean,
who want more than they give?
that Amazon woman, the from the beginning, the one the guy wants. He wants. If you ask a lot of these guys today, they want a woman that's feminine, submissive, cooks every day, big, nice, round butt, medium to large breasts, soft voice, long natural hair, very sexually active with only him, and also keeps her family and friends out of the business. You know how much maintenance that would be?
Well, can I comment on the men's list?
Sure.
Now, I may not be wording this the correct way, but being that I seen my grandmother today and I'm very happy, I'll throw out one of her quote unquotes because I'm probably not going to quote it correctly.
Mm-hmm.
But you're basically, it depends on the bait that you have on the hook. What are you dangling out there? What are you fishing for? You're going to get what you give.
So go ahead.
If you're not getting that mate that matches you, what are you presenting to her?
That's deep. That's deep in some different ways. Because that's just like, I'm gonna speak from a woman's perspective. If she's out there wearing like, super tight stuff and she got the whole costume, because that's what that is. It's a costume that these women are wearing today.
That's the package they fishing for.
Right. See, but they want this honest guy that do all the honest things. Like you don't look honest, lady.
You're not.
That works. That works both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Putting out your representative shows up with their tights and this and that and the other when that's not really what you want to do.
The same way men wearing these skinny jeans, aka nut huggers, when they go out.
Right. Or they're gonna show up with some sweatpants on and just have it positioned in a certain way.
What?
It's like, is that supposed to be attractive?
Oh,
to somebody who's mature and who they are. That is what I'm hearing.
I'm just gonna say God bless me with 20/20 vision, so no comment on it.
So let me ask y'all this, y'all women. Okay, so y'all telling me that, don't you know how like when women go out and they put on what they call their best when it comes to whatever is going on today, they'll wear all these different tight pants and got their breasts halfway hanging out and hair done, whatever, in the fake lashes and all that old stuff. Y'all mean to tell me, okay, that's the way they go out today, but then men, what they got to do that's equivalent to what the women do is wear like tight skinny jeans or tight jeans or sweatpants?
Don't nobody want no nut huggers. That's so what that is thirst trapping, right? Those are single people moves. Now it is some married people who do it, but they just lost in the sauce. But as a single woman, if I'm out here and I'm in these streets, I don't mind going to Walmart and seeing your baby daddy in his gray sweatpants. Because I'm single, I'm looking, right? I ain't looking for him. I'm just looking at what he presented at the time.
Right.
Going back to what you dangling on that hook, son. Right? So the same way with women, guess why most of these women got these butterfly eyelashes on? I'm guilty of it. I wore them back in the day, but I also was learning how to do makeup back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to become a makeup artist back in the day. I was trying to get a certain job back in the day. So who better to practice on than me?
Right.
Because if I can't make myself look good, then I can't make you look good. Right.
Right.
But, and I come from many walks of life. I've had many different job experiences. But at the same time, when you scroll down social media, especially not mature men, all they want is a bad DI or, an Instagram model, or she gotta have the biggest boobs in the world or the biggest butt in the world. That's because that's what they're being fed, right? That's what they're seeing 24/7, because this generation, it's about the technology. Mm-hmm. And we talked about this before. Everybody's attention span is so much shorter.
Mm-hmm.
The video, if you notice, the video clips on Instagram is so much shorter. TikTok is even more shorter. They just now came out with the 10-minute video, but because I'm sure they've heard so many people talking about how they're trying to make everybody's attention span shorter for whatever reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if the first 30 seconds, let's say you scrolling through Instagram for 30 seconds, what's gonna pop up on your feed? Kim Kardashian, mulatto.
Mm-hmm.
What's the other Cardi B, Nicki Minaj? That's what's popping up.
Right.
It used to be supermodels. It used to be Tyra Banks when she had a natural body. It used to be Naomi Campbell, natural body. I think she eventually ended up getting her boobs done because a lot of people succumb to the system.
Mm-hmm.
They end up, okay, I'm in my 40s now. Let me touch this up real quick.
Right.
I'm single. I done had kids already. Let me get this tucked. And And now what's the world exploding with? BBLs.
Right.
That it used to be let's go to a barbecue on Saturday. Now they're going to the Dominican Republic to get their body done. Right. So
this world is jacked right now. I mean, I remember when I was talking to somebody about this the other day. Do y'all remember on Saturdays when y'all used to hear cars dragging cans because somebody got married, making all the noise, and then you would see just married. You heard
a can drag?
I was a little boy.
You know what you hear now? Gunshots.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's sad. It's not funny, but it's the truth.
Yeah, it's like all this good stuff that's gone. It just faded away. It's like people not even get married no more. I mean, and then they get married, but you don't hear those things, when you was a kid. Dougie said God gives and he also puts things on hold, and he's living proof. So Dougie, we want you to call in whenever you get a chance and share that story with us. Yeah, it's sad, all the innocent things that were out there, and they're just not there anymore. But
I remember I used to go to weddings and throw rice at people, and
yeah. My brother, when he got married, I remember throwing a rice. It's like all that stuff is gone.
You don't see that then. Now I prefer to go to the Nigerian weddings where they throw money. Ain't nobody throw no money at mine when I was married, but you know what I'm saying.
Dang.
But when they chop the money,
I feel this overall that there's not a lot of maturity in relationships that are being touted today, and most of them, to your point, sums up exactly the source. If it's coming from the internet, it's coming from TikTok, it's coming from these short span videos and whatever, that's what you're seeing. So that's what's being replicated. They're just doing it outwardly. You say, I don't see any weddings. Sure you do. Yes, they're about 3 seconds long.
They're duplicating it.
And they're just repeating what they're seeing. And they go to, think about it, those planning weddings are literally going where to get ideas? The internet. They're seeing the exact same things that we're talking about. So they don't even have the creativity or the desire of their heart to go and create a wedding in a space that represents them and the person that they're with, because they're already on a shaky foundation in the first place, because there's really nothing for them to draw from.
Right. Not to put my cousin on the spot because she might be watching, but she loves Pinterest, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you remember back in the day, you used to have to go to the store. You had to go to David's Bridal. You had to look through a wedding book. You had to look through a planning book. You had to look through an invitation book.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's Pinterest, it's TikTok, it's Instagram. Like when you do a Google search for something, Google used to be its own entity, its own for it, or something that was related to what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Half of the time, the first thing that pops up is Facebook or Instagram, because they buying everything out. So Facebook and Instagram, the same thing now.
But I would say this, and this is actually full on personal. I don't get on the internet like that. I don't. When somebody said, "Oh, this is a TikTok, this is a reel," I was like, "Real what?" Because I don't entertain it. And I feel like people, if you choose to live a certain way, if you say you're traditional, then live traditional. If you're going to say that you're, out there doing whatever, and you're watching every TikTok, every news feed on the internet about everybody else's life but your own, you start creating these fake lives that you have to now live up to. And I have friends that I didn't know was living 2 different lives, and stumbled across a feed, and then they're like, "Oh, check this out," and I go to check it out. So now I'm just looking at the whole thing, and I'm scrolling. I'm like, "What?
Well,
wait a minute."
Everybody's trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Yeah. I'm like, "Wait a minute! You told me that you having problems in your marriage, and this is our private inner circle conversation, and I'm giving this advice, and we're talking, and we, hashing it out, and the tears and everything. And guess what?
They look mad in love on the internet.
You better know it." I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, pause. What the heck just happened here? Like, did I just stumble across something?
No, that's just to save face with the family that they didn't already told their business.
But here's the thing to the list. That goes right back to the list. When the guy said he wants her family and friends out of their business.
Yep.
Well, if you created this life on here, now you can't even go. You don't even have the support that a relationship should have.
Right. And that's one of the things that I disagree with to a certain extent, because you pretty much know your family. You know which family member not to talk to about certain things, and you know which family member you can go to about certain things. Mm-hmm. So when people say keep your family out of it, or I don't want to, that's your story, right? That's your business. If you don't want to talk to your family about it, that's one thing. But me and my family has and will always be close. Now it's a couple of uncles, not the name none, but it's a couple of uncles I know not to tell nothing because they can't hold water.
Yeah, it's like that.
You just said a difference. You said you don't tell them nothing. So there are certain people you talk to that are integral parts of who you are.
Yeah, me and my siblings are very close knit. We were raised to be that way.
Yeah, me and my sisters like
the same way, right?
Yeah, same thing. Me and my brothers and my sisters very close. Hold on one second. We have a caller that called in. Maybe ask who's the caller.
It's Dougie.
Oh, what's up, Dougie? Dougie, hold on one second. Let them finished that, and then definitely share your story. And yeah,
I was gonna ask for permission to do a shameless plug real quick, since we was talking about social media.
No, go ahead.
Now I ain't gonna lie, I'm on social media, so if y'all want to buy some art or check out my art, you can follow me on TikTok and Instagram at simply_10 TENN_art. By the way, just plugging it.
And have some dope art as well. I own some of the art myself. And Black business support. I mean, but you know what? It's not even so much about Black business all the time. It's independent business support.
It's business. I don't discriminate on the dollar.
Yeah, me either. But I'm just saying, for those who make a step forward to do that, to know that, and then also it's an independent business. Period. So, Dougie.
Money is green.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Dougie.
Yeah, when you tell me explain, tell you what happened. The thing with me is, I was up top doing this and that.
Mm-hmm.
I still work for $1 billion corporation, but I'm not at the level I was anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Remember 2019, I almost died, and I'm still going through heart stuff. So my thing is the 50-50 thing. People, I hear women talking about, God can't do this for me if he's doing that. I look at it as, you can say that, but you never know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was taking care of a lot of things. But when I had congestive heart failure, it wiped a lot of things out of my system.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I say he taking it put on hold. He gave me the power to do this and that, have my own business, detailing cars, cutting grass, work for the rental car company, installing cable for myself, doing good.
Mm-hmm.
Had the heart thing that took me out. And I'm trying to get myself back up by trying to get my own restaurant by next year.
That's dope.
Yeah, so it's like, when I hear people say, you can't do nothing for me if you're not doing this and doing that, things could be taken away from you, from a lot of people. A lot of people. And I'm proof.
Amen.
But Dougie, did you hear what I said at the beginning?
What did you say at the beginning?
That everybody's situation is different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
said if that's what they agreed upon, and that they came into the situation knowing that, then they work towards it and help each other to build, right?
Yeah, but see, I'm looking at it.
Which is what I tried to do in the beginning with my situation when I was the breadwinner.
Mm-hmm.
And then once he got on his feet, I was to step back and then let him continue on, right? But that's not how my situation ended.
Mm-hmm.
My situation ended for a few reasons, but that was one of the main things, because at some point he claimed I made him feel less than a man. And that was the only thing that I could recall going back to, was a man that don't work, don't eat. And that's the truth. Because if I don't work, ain't neither one of us eating, right? So I wasn't saying that to make him feel less, which I explained it to him, but he was dealing with his own insecurities at the time.
Yeah, I mean, I probably understand, but I heard that, but like some, it's some, and I don't say all. I never say all. But they don't look at things that way. They look at things as you're supposed to, but it's like, okay, you're supposed to, but you just never know what the few seconds bring to you. I never thought I would have heart failure. Never thought that because I was doing exercise, eating right, don't do drugs, drink wine occasionally, doing all this and that. One day I wasn't feeling good, went to the hospital. The doctor said, if you ain't coming today, you wouldn't have seen next week.
Wow. And you know what?
I know some family members who dealt with that, who were living on top, and then, a sickness brought them down. But guess what? They had that type of wife that was there to support them. Right. So you have to know what you got. You have to know what you're getting. You got to know what kind of bait you're dangling.
Right. And Dougie, I really appreciate you coming through, sharing the story. I remember, when you was I just saw the pictures, and me and we've been friends like brothers all our life. So, but I just didn't get a chance to, talk to you about that. But I'm glad that you came and shared your story and gave a different angle, because that does mean a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like even myself sometimes, I'm looking at it from a standpoint of, given all my health and I'm healthy, yes, I'm going to be the leader. But then sometimes some things can come through and change that for you, and you just can't be that guy like that anymore. And then, you have to do 50-50 because your full health is not there. But Pokey just also said, I believe simply that a man that eat don't work is said in the Bible. I mean, I believe simply that a man that eat
don't work, don't eat is what you mean.
Yeah, don't worry. I was trying. Okay. So so that's everything. And it's I mean, you just never know. But in that case, yes, you got to make sure you choose your mate wisely. But we got a couple more things on this list that we got to hit up, right? And the last one, it was being a leader. And then now a provider. What do y'all think about? Is that something that you that y'all women look for in a man?
Well, I hit on that the first time. I said that should have been at the front of the list.
Okay. All right. And what about and the women want now? Remember, this is Amazon. This is a man in a box. That y'all think, because you can't. It's so hard to go out and find a guy that has all this, just like it was so hard to find all that guys are looking for in a woman. Also, a guy that can still hold it down in y'all's bedroom.
But what's messed up about the box is basically like the reality of the situation in today's times. It's ordered backwards, right? Mm-hmm. Why is that the last thing you're looking for on that list?
What's that?
Why is the provider and the leader the last thing on the list?
Well, I don't think it was compiled where it was supposed to be in sequential order. You know what I mean, in some type of order. But I agree with you; those things should have been first. But you gotta remember, there's women that accept. What was the first thing on the list for the men's? He got to be handsome. They don't say he has to be a provider. You understand what I'm saying? They are going by looks, just like a lot of men just go by looks.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It matches the reality of it being the world is backwards, right?
Right.
Just like that list is backwards. That's how people actually think. That part that should have been first is at the end of the list, right?
Right.
What do you, if you ask a man what he looked for in a woman, right? Back in the day, it used to be, if he was raised properly or raised by the right woman, he said, I want somebody who reminds me of my mother, right? Mm-hmm. What's the first thing they say now? Oh, she got to be bad. She got to be an IG model.
Yep. And I don't understand. I don't understand. Like a lot of guys. Like, why would you go after a IG model to make it your girl or wife?
Clap, but they can't cook.
I mean, that's just crazy. Like that's you asking for trouble. Like that I think that's an insecure guy that would literally go and want a female like that and think like that's your life is going to be a disaster. Also, Pokey put up a Bible verse, which is 2 Thessalonians 3:10, and then she also said a man that's a provider teaches his son to also provide. Yes, and that's how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to go down the line. Even like now, here's the thing. I don't know if y'all don't have to agree with me. I'm the bad guy. Uh, a lot of
Always.
women, a lot of women teach their daughters the wrong way,
Right.
and that's a crying shame. And it's just not a good thing. It's not a good thing, and that's the reason why we're out here with a lot of problems these days. Not just because of the daughters, but because of the sons as well, and the fathers and stuff like that. Now, a lot of women also want a tall guy. Y'all quiet
You
now, huh?
pause. You pause. So I live. All right. I used to have this saying again back in my younger days, right? You got to be 5'8" or taller to ride this ride, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, me, when I say tall, I want somebody who's taller than me, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Because I've dated a little person before, not quite a midget, but he was real close. No, he was real close. He was kind of taller, right? Because well, I ain't gonna say what line of business, because if I be specific, then people know what I do for a living. But let's just say his clothes made him look bigger than what he was, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, the personality's there. At the time, I was Buffy the body. I was working out every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, the body's there, the personality is there, the height is missing, right? It's like a tiny top.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I gave it a shot because I was raised a certain type of way, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going off of his height. His height ain't paying no bills, right?
Right.
His height don't make him the man. But everybody know what they like, right? If I say tall, dark, and handsome or whatever, that's my preference. Everybody is entitled to their own preference.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're climbing up the same tree and getting that same result and it's not the result that you want, then you should mix it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point in my life, I mixed it up, right?
Okay.
The problem was he was a Gemini. So
well, I mean,
I got the crazy twins.
So he was probably in there throwing it down with you.
No. Without being graphic, the bacon was the same size of the man. The bacon wasn't shaking.
Golly.
Amen.
He talked a good game, which means his mouth worked.
Oh wow. Did that just? Oh, hold on 1 second. For some reason, hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second, guys. For some reason, the hold on 1 second. Trying to get the Bluetooth back on. Hold on 1 second. What is this thing doing? Hold on. I'm coming. Trying to figure out. Hold on 1 second, guys. This thing is doing something goofy. Let me. I'm what I'm going to do is hold on. Oh, I know. Let me try this. Hey, Miss Wendy and Miss Simply 10. I'm gonna Oh, we can hear you again now. Hold on.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We can hear you.
All right. Y'all can y'all hear them on the phone on there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. All right. So whatever happened, whatever. Okay. So anyway, who was last talking? Was it Simply 10?
Me.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I forgot where I left off. But the moral of the story is, it's what works for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most women say tall, but generally speaking, we mean taller than us.
Mm-hmm.
That might be hard if the woman herself is 6'2". Then she gonna have to go get an NBA player. So
right.
Unless she like that type of control to where she's towering over her man, which is fine. My brother is short and he likes his women to be taller than him. That's his preference. Me, My mama used to say, I don't want no man where I can look over their head because I'm probably gonna hit them in the head. So that's basically old school for. She felt like if she dated somebody shorter than her, she'd end up running all over, right?
Yeah, I mean that sounds about right.
My only experience was he was short and crazy. Had he been short and regular, we wouldn't have had an issue.
Right.
But every now and again, that bad Gemini pop out, and you never knew if you was getting Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde.
Well, yeah, that's crazy. I mean, y'all just explained that in a good way, because sometimes, like, it's some things that guys ask for that just don't make sense to me, and there's certain things that females ask for that just don't make sense to me. Brother-in-law Tony said, short and crazy sounds very familiar. Oh, Tony, you gonna get it. Woo.
Amen.
Yeah, wait till you get off that phone.
Don't blame us for what happened.
Yeah.
See, I dated I date tall, short, but some are short. I just can't do because one girl I dated, somebody set me up. We went to the movies. We sat down and her feet were swinging in the chair.
Oh, you had a toddler.
She said, "Look,
oh no, this is not gonna work. Look like I'm taking my goddaughter to the movie."
Well, here's another one. Athletic.
They lost me when they called him my son.
Oh man, they called you date your son or their boyfriend?
Yeah, I was like, no. Somebody dying laughing over here.
Wow.
It's like, I don't think this is gonna work.
That's messed up. What you mean?
The first date that you realized he was that short?
No, I knew he was short, but I don't need you rubbing it in my face. I was trying to, I was trying to change through Christ and try something different to get a different result. It didn't work out.
Dang.
Amen.
Now.
First, I want to put something out there just so everybody kind of think about on the overall grand scheme of the women's Amazon list.
Mm-hmm.
Why is a woman looking for a man? And I'm not talking about should be looking for a woman. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, like, traditionally, aren't you just receiving and deciding whether or not to accept whoever's finding you? Because that's the order of things. A man finds a wife, finds a good thing. I do all day, every day.
I do too, but
I don't compromise and feed into what's happening in the world and all of that kind of stuff. The world don't live in my house. You know, happy spouse, happy house.
Right.
Figure it out. Because at the end of the day, if you were out here searching for a man in the first place, chances are you're going to end up with the wrong one to begin with. Because that's not the role. I'm all about the roles. Know your role and play it. Like, at the end of the day, you're talking about, like, perfectly Dougie's situation to me would never have been problematic because it is a woman's role. All of that part of being a boss and being able to work and being able to take care of yourself before you get a man and all of that, none of those skill sets go away because your man is in his role and he's providing for your home. But if something happens to him, like what happened to him, she should be able to put those skill sets right back to work until he can get on his feet. The difference is getting on your feet doesn't mean like, oh, he got a job and now it's going to take care of 6 to 9 months to get more money in the bank. No, he got a job. He's back on his feet.
Right.
It's not dip out and now you back taking him back out of his role, and you don't do it so long that there's a level of comfort that kicks in, which it sounds like what happened in your situation. He got comfortable with you paying for and doing and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, he was emasculated, and then on top of it, he got comfortable on it and was like, you know what? I ain't happy, so I ain't gonna do until this is done and you had enough, and now he gonna go out and do for the next one.
And not to even dog him out, I wouldn't even say that he got comfortable. He was in a situation to where he got frustrated, right?
Because of his height?
And the way that I worded it, even though that's how it said, he took offense to it because he was already, oh, you're going to kick me when I'm down, right? And that wasn't my point. Because he was already frustrated. He couldn't see that I was coming to him out of love.
I can only imagine. What you tell him?
That's where the beef started.
You probably say, look here, If I put 4 rulers together, that make it 4 foot, right? I can only golly.
But no, I
was looking with somebody. Go ahead.
I asked something that was realistic that some men will disagree with, probably you. But I asked something that was realistic. I was working 12-hour shifts overnight, to where when I came home, I didn't want to do nothing but sleep for about 4 to 6 hours, because that's usually all I got anyway. And so, of course, I'm still going to get up and do my part. And of course, I was meal prepping. I wasn't talking about no buy out the box Hello Fresh meal prepping. I mean, I was meal prepping for 3 to 4 days at sometimes, because I came up from poverty. So I know how to remix a meal. Even though you eat leftovers, you ain't gonna know you eat leftovers unless I tell you eat leftovers, right? So I might, cook back when I used to eat meat. I might have cooked a 3-course meal, and all that was left was the meat. Okay, well then I make 2 other sides to go with that meat. Or I'd make, if all that was left was rice, then I'd rice. I'd choose another protein to go with the rice, right? So it ain't gonna be the same chicken and rice and gravy for 3 days. It was a remixed meal. But my thing was, if you're not working at the time, what's the harm in washing a dish or 2, right? What's the harm in picking up your own shoes so that I don't break my neck when I'm coming in through the door half asleep after a 12-hour shift?
So you saying if he wasn't working and you was working,
right? Because he was working 2 part-times, right? There were days in between to where he didn't have work, because I already knew what his plan was. I don't know if he still watched YouTube or not, so I'm not going to go into detail what he does for a living now. But there were times where he was doing absolutely nothing while I was at work. So why wouldn't you want to help me at this point? Because I'm gonna help you. So why is it if you're
I feel everything that is just a lazy, sorry man. I'm so sorry.
See,
so he decided, and that wasn't sorry. Not okay. I'm still searching, looking for a job in that in between time. In the meantime, if he's part time, then the other part of the time he needs to be helping you support. That's I know that's the dream work right there. Because I was, other than that, him just sitting around watching you work and hold down the house.
Well, no, that wasn't the case. I know how it's coming off and how I'm making it sound. Okay. He's from a different culture. He was far from lazy, right? Okay. So at the time, he didn't understand. We were coming from 2 different walks of life, right? So, like I said, I came from a household. I had both parents. I was blessed up until I was 13 and my mom passed away. So I had that instilled in me. My mom did all the household stuff, right? My dad was out days at a time driving trucks. This was back before truck drivers could get a rest. He'd be driving 72 hours straight, right? Now, when my dad got down and got sick, there were things that he wished he could have done. And he eventually, after my mom passed away, he trained himself to do, which was he only had one working side of his body. He was able to wash dishes, right? He was able to do those things to bring me up as a man that he probably wouldn't have been doing if my mom was still alive, right? So I was looking more of a help stance. If I'm tired, I'm working, because right now you're not in a position to work that dream job just yet because you're working towards it. You've been at home. Now, after you've done your job applications and you haven't heard back from anybody, what's the harm in washing the dishes?
Did y'all have a dishwasher?
We had everything. It was an apartment.
Amen.
It had all amenities. I don't want to come home and see you still sitting at the computer because you filled out job applications for 10 hours. That's not going to make them call you no faster, right? Amen. Or at least that's what you telling me, because I hadn't been here, so I don't know what you was doing, right? My only question is, if I got you, why can't you have me, right? I ain't asking you to do too much. I'm not asking you to wash dishes every day. But if I'm working 4 days straight, back to back, 12-hour shifts, why am I still tripping over your shoes when I come home? You can't pick your own shoes up. About that.
See, that right there is
Concrete, you the man's man. Tell us what you feel about that.
Yeah, no,
you can see on his face what you feel about it.
I can't.
No,
I'm
gonna be honest with you. Let's say in that case like that, I would wash the dishes. I have no problem with that. But if you think I'm about to come home from work and you in here and I'm about to wash the dishes, no, that's your job. That's your duty.
Right, but he wasn't coming home from work. He was already there.
But that's what I'm saying. You see, like me, like now he just being trifling.
Right. See, I'm asking you to help me. I'm not telling you get in there and wash them dishes, man. I'm the one doing all the work. I'm not saying that.
See, that's
saying, can you help us sister out? Don't you see me barely walking in here? I can barely pick my feet up.
I mean,
eventually he caught on to it, but by then I was already over it.
Right. Now,
what is that a catch to?
What'd you say?
I'm like, what is?
I'm not a nagger, and at the time we were, like I said, at the time we were both young, so I'm not gonna nag you to do nothing. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I have my certain ways to where, okay, if I'm so tired and you can't wash a dish, then I'm gonna be so tired a couple other times too, right? So that was back in my petty days.
Well,
we've all lived them.
Brother-in-law Tony said, if you come in the house tripping over your shoes, over his shoes, that's because you're not watching where you walking at.
Tony, I'm gonna resist you because of who you are.
He's saying you gotta open your eyes.
I just said I was half asleep when I was walking in the door from working 12-hour shifts.
Amen.
But the younger me would tell you, Tony, you better be glad you still got ankles.
Dang. Golly.
No violence in the house.
But I've since grown.
Well, so we're going to finish off this list. Now, remember, this is the woman's list, the Amazon woman's list. She want all these things in a man. So you remember number one was he has to be handsome. He has to be, number two was buff build, big hands, a leader, a provider. And can he still hold it down in the bedroom? He has to be tall and athletic. What about adventurous?
Is what?
Adventurous.
Oh.
Can y'all get past that?
Him being adventurous?
Yes.
Are we talking about mountain biking or are we talking about in the bed?
Nah, I'm talking about everything.
He's not adventurous or he is adventurous?
It's on the list. He has to be adventurous. This is y'all
okay.
package. Okay. I know I mountain bike and all that stuff.
I'm giving the list because half of the list don't even, like, neither one of us said we agree with this list.
Okay.
100%.
Well,
but
go ahead.
I feel like there's versions of all of that in there, but a lot of it is subjective to who the woman is. So it's really generalized. And it's funny because you'll find women that just because of who we are and how we are, just, in terms of helper, like a helpmate, I think that is innately in us to want to help people, period. And so with that being the case, I feel like that's more, people fall in the trap of finding somebody who doesn't have half of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they try to help them get to that point. And then they end up getting to that point and going about their business. They got discharged from the hospital. Somebody gonna take them off the shelf. Right. So I'm like, I think it's subjective. I don't feel like there's, like you said, I think it's more of we want somebody that's taller than us. Because a 6'8" man is the 6'8" man, and you gonna break your neck just trying to look up and get a kiss out of that. But experience. But as far as like the other stuff, yes, you want somebody to be a leader. Yes, you want somebody to be a provider. Yes, you want them to help when you have to step into the helper role and have to go out here and be the necessarily a breadwinner, but making money to support the home. Of course, he'll be the breadwinner. He's not working, but the potential to make money would still fall into, okay, he's, to your point early on, Creek, that with you be someone that had, and you saw the potential. It wasn't about what they were able to carry on the entire time. To Dougie's point, he's having a storm that he's got to come through. He's got to make it through. But the thing that makes the most relationships strong and last in those rare occasions and older people is that they held each other down through the storm. They knew that it wasn't going to last forever. They knew that the person they saw working 2 jobs and doing all of that when they met them exists in that person. And it's just a matter of how to get to that when they're going through a storm. They're who they are who they always were. But if you saw them slacking in the midst of things, even especially in a storm, then they got a level of like, I'm tired. I was doing that all this time and now I get a break and I'm tired. You know, it's like, you don't get to be tired. If I don't get to be tired holding you down, you can't get tired while I'm holding you down. This ain't no vacation.
So
you need to be looking for the next.
I wish it was that simple to where I could say he was tired, because he wasn't tired. He was just frustrated, which I got it after the fact.
But how far does frustration take you when you got work to do?
He didn't.
You grinding. You trying to get things done. And I'm not saying like, I'm saying how it is. You can't take a break. You can't take a break if I can't take a break.
And at that time, I couldn't, and that was my frustration. So his frustration and my frustration, like two bulls butting heads, right? And so as we got older and we learned from it, we since talked about it, right? He since apologized for, I mean, it took 10 years, but he since apologized for his half of why it didn't work out. I apologized before I left because I didn't want to be no hard feelings. Once I'm done, I'm done. I ain't got to talk to you again, right?
What was he apologizing for, though?
That it was a lot of miscommunication because of the cultural difference, right? So my frustration was, I knew that he did all the things that I was asking him to do for his sister, for his mom back home. You see what I'm saying? I wasn't asking him to do something he never done before. This wasn't foreign to him. The country was the only thing that was foreign, right? But I watched him there was a situation to where my sister-in-law, me and her husband didn't get along anyway, but he would leave the country a lot of times and leave her in a bad way in her different stages of pregnancy, right? And my ex would leave our sanctity of our home to go tend to his sister. And I felt like he was giving her the wife treatment and not me. You see what I'm saying? The things that he wouldn't do for me, he would go do for his sister. And
he wasn't his wife, so I mean.
No, I was his wife at the time. This was the guy I was married to.
Oh.
Yeah, this wasn't Shorty mixed up.
So
I wasn't there. No, I was there. I just give him a stool and put him at the yeah. Anyway. But no, so that's why I say I'm not trying to paint him out to be a bad person. I know that there was a lot of miscommunication. And eventually by the time that we got around to communicating, we were already divorced. So it was really no point. But he felt like he needed closure. I already got closure before I left. Because I knew at the time I wasn't doing anything wrong. Right? And I'm sorry if what I said made you feel some type of way. That's what I apologize for. But it still had to be said. Right? And my only hope to him, and I told him this, my only hope to him when we split, I don't wish nothing bad on you. I hope that you learn from this situation and you don't treat the next the way you treated me. Right? And he eventually, as far as I know, because he told me he'll never tell me if he ever got divorced again anyway, because he'll feel like I won. But from his side of the fence, he's saying, it's working because he took the advice, he got the help that he needed to get. Because there was some need for therapy in there, which is why I was able to get my closure prior to the split, because I went to therapy for myself, right? So and had I been willing to deal with it longer, I'm sure it would have all worked out in the end. But by then, I'd have been bald-headed. I would have pulled all my hair out.
Oops, sorry.
So now to comment on this Amazon list.
Oh, we got one more.
I had a different perspective when you first mentioned it. on his Amazonian checklist.
Yeah. I mean, because again, women are. I don't want y'all jumping on me. A lot of women can be delusional, especially when it comes to the kind of guy that they want. I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that, right?
Amen.
So, yeah.
Come on, you add it now.
So then,
yeah,
men can be delusional as well. And I sit up there as a man, like, why would you want that? Why would you want that? Like, I want peace and happiness.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Peace and happiness. And I know comes all a big booty.
On the clap.
Yeah, all of the clapping and all that other stuff, and those eyelashes and all the makeup and all the other stuff. That's not going to be peaceful for you. What's going to happen is that she's going to be so into herself that you're not going to have peace, and she likes the attention. That's why she is doing it. You see what I'm saying?
That's a different topic for a different day.
And it surely is. And I was going to say that. Say what you saying. I'm going to tell you the last one.
Y'all be dogging women out, and I'm here for it.
Amen.
But as far as that checklist, I would say as far as adventurous, I would split that 50-50 with spontaneous. Because usually if you get one, you get the other, right?
Okay.
That's important because you don't want a boring relationship, right? Now, adventurous can come one of two ways. That could mean you adventurous in the bedroom, or you like to travel to different places that you never thought of being before, or that you thought you would never see. Or when I say spontaneous, I mean like spur of the moment. Like if you just dating outside of the norm. Yes, we can go eat, but let's go to the fair. Let's go somewhere outside of your normal that we wouldn't normally go.
But you know what? Me personally, I think all of that falls under being adventurous.
That's why I say it's 50-50, because each one can mean something. It depends on how you look at it, your perspective. Right.
Now, go ahead.
Now, back to the original thought process of what I thought the list meant. I thought you meant like a list on Amazon, like because I got some of those things in my closet. So, no, we like to build that Amazon list because it don't talk back.
Oh, okay.
Right? We ain't got to hear all that.
Right.
But still get the job done.
Oh, okay.
Amen.
I can't knock that. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of buzzing going on around here in these parts after COVID.
Hey, listen, some people got a motor mouth. Some people just got a motor.
Dang. All right. Brother-in-law Tony says, so with all these items on your checklist, how true would your love be? That's what I'm saying. It's no true love. You see what I'm saying? It's no true love. I hope that and it just did.
Sorry for the background noise. I'm trying to get my water intake in.
No, that's cool. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to get this. You know what? No, I'm not even gonna mess with it. Not gonna mess with it because my phone just went out. But what I was gonna say was this. The last on the list was this. Last on the list was this. It was the women want out of all that package a go-getter, making money and taking care of the household. So Miss Wendy kind of touched on that a little earlier, actually. And I mean, but there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Of course, if you're a man, you're supposed to be that way. That's why we have Dougie on here. He was being versatile. You know, he had what he had going. Then he had to start, you know.
I thought it was gonna say something cooler, like she want a big package with a big package.
Oh, see how y'all is. Talking packages and
they gonna have all that on the list. I thought they was gonna end it with that at least.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm disappointed.
So of course, you know, the man.
More than one way.
Yeah. Yeah. So the man definitely has to, you know. I know that's a turn on to y'all women that, you know, if a man can hold it down like that. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna end this show here. And I thank everybody who came through. We made it happen. Shouts out to Sweet Mama G. She didn't get a chance to pop up tonight. Shouts out to Baldy E. He didn't get a chance to pop up tonight.
I'm drinking water for you, Baldy.
Yeah.
But my mic wasn't cracking.
And we forgot we got to do the hiss like before you answer things, but it'd be funny. All of us have funny characteristics about ourselves. So, but anyway, I thank y'all. I love you guys. We held it down. It had to be solo. Shouts out to Southside Doughboy.
Southside.
Yes, shouts out to Southside Doughboy. See, I would carry the show on longer, but we gonna because I can start a whole nother show tonight. But we gonna leave it there
after midnight.
Yeah, so we gonna go ahead and get some sleep. And on Monday, should we do the Monday quickie relationship again, y'all?
Are the co-hosts gonna be here?
I'm not sure. Let me tell you something. I gotta hold this thing down with or without them. You see what I'm saying?
I'm on leave, so I can call back in.
Okay. Well, and look, we enjoy y'all calls coming in. Trust me, and we can all hold it down. So so we can do Monday, and we'll make it a relationship show, and it'll be a good topic, and we'll get it going from here. But shouts out to everybody. Thank y'all for all the love. We're building this channel up, and I want to make sure everybody is heard, and we can learn something from one another. All right. We thank y'all so much. Once again, thank you, Dougie. Thank you, Simply 10. Thank you, Miss Wendy. Thank you, brother-in-law Tony. Thank you, nephew, for popping in. Thank you so much, Pokey. Thank you. We had some other people I was trying to think. Who's that? Oh, that was Simply 10 saying bye, everyone. And now my brother-in-law called me Reverend Creep. I'm just trying to make sure I ain't miss anybody.
Man, you got a bunch of names. You got Creep Samuels. You got Reverend Creep. What was the other one?
I don't know. They hit me with everything. I gotta have tough skin with hey everybody hit me. But yeah, thank y'all everybody. We'll be back on Monday. Let's do 8:00 Monday. And I got something for y'all. I got something for y'all. And the lines will be open.
Yeah, don't come on here talking about no eyelashes and no thunderclaps.
Amen.
I'll try not to. But so we gonna make it happen. And you know what? If anybody wants to pop on a screen with us, if y'all can let me know during the show, or if y'all can reach out to me before the show, and I'll send y'all a link, and y'all can come in and talk. You know what I mean? This is open to everybody. And there's my baby sister. Hey, Nene, I love you. I didn't know if you was on here. I know Tony gonna be in trouble. So
I think she missed it. I think she just popped on.
Oh, okay. So but we had fun, y'all, and we will see y'all on Monday at 8 p.m. Remember, and make sure y'all show up, okay? Let's get it.
All right, good night, everybody.
All right, good night.
Adios.